Today I'm going to talk about the origins of the Pet Semetary, the place where the dead don't stay buried. And for all of those who haven't seen the movie, this is basically a cautionary tale that sometimes dead is better. Of course, that's the tagline of the movie. But before I get into it, I have my usual trigger warnings. If you don't like gore, please go ahead and keep scrolling. If you are uncomfortable with topics dealing with death, please also keep scrolling. And if you don't like conversations that involve beasts that rhyme with indigo, please go ahead and keep scrolling. However, if you're okay with any of those topics, then I have just the thing for you.
Growing up in Ludlow, Maine, Pet Semetary was a place kids like me learned about death. But hundreds of years ago, it was used in a very different way. The local Mi'kmaq tribe built it to call on animal spirits to protect them from an ancient evil in the woods. It had lived there forever, beyond the Pet Semetary, just past Little God's Swamp. We built a deadfall to keep people out, but the evil would whisper to those seeking to spend one more day with the ones they love. And that was where I learned my real lesson about death. A lesson you can only learn in Ludlow. Sometimes dead is better.
I've had nightmares about the symbols and masks we've encountered. Looks like an animal burial ground. They believe animal spirits offer them protection. Protection from what?
We're almost there.
The air feels sour here and smells of death. And while there is abundant water, the further we go, the more the crops begin to die. I can't help but believe it's related to Ludlow's last message. Death is different here. What happened here?
Find Ludlow. And any survivors. Father, ask him where the others have gone. My man, where is Ludlow?
Ludlow Tlewit Margimig Nige. Mujik Sidamotig. Udladida Ludlowo. Witchik Margimagowik. Witchik.
Ludlow?
Gadik.
Awaken something ancient and evil.
Dalamog. Upukegola.
Ludlow!
So what we have here is the origin story of Ludlow, Maine, the center of chaos for the Pet Semetary, in which the dead don't stay that way. Now, although this movie seems to retcon some of the information that we get in earlier Pet Semetary films, what we do know is that there is an evil plaguing the town of Ludlow, whether it is in the form of an indigo or it's in the form of this primordial evil. However, they did have warning before they decided to pursue the settling of this area, and that was from the Mi'kmaq tribe. Now, if you'll notice something here, if there is a Native American burial ground, sacred lands, etc., stay away from them. They are that way for a reason. Now, this movie made it such that the Mi'kmaq tribe had been well aware of the evil that existed in this area. They created ways to avoid the evil by wearing animal masks. And so finally, in this movie, we get the origin story of why the kids in the town of Ludlow wear these creepy little masks, although I think they could have done more to expand on this. But the reason they do that is because it allows them to hide from this evil. The animal spirits, according to the Mi'kmaq tribe that settled the area far before the settlers of Ludlow, established that the animal spirits they believed in provided a protection that would save them, or at least lessen the blow of this thing that was corrupting and rotting the soil that they would bury their dead in. Now, although they had provided countless warnings to these citizens of Ludlow, or these settlers of Ludlow, they did not heed warning, and therefore they ended up in the position that they did in really any of the Pet Semetary films. Now, strangely enough, or not so strangely enough, this story reminded me the most of the Lost Colony of Roanoke, except in this case, it's much bloodier. There's no case of assimilation, but there is the presence of Native Americans who tried to help the settlers in their own way. In this case, they tried to warn them that the ground here is sour, as it was referred to, and that they need not bury the dead here. Yet, the Ludlow settlers, as given the name of the man who the city was named after, decided to prevail anyway. Now, although this movie didn't perform the way the original did, or its sequel, I think this is one of the better films in the franchise. It's possibly the scariest one as well. There's a lot more suspense, but of course, the original gave us something that had never been seen before. So if you're wanting the original or similar quality, you're not going to get it in this movie, but this is still a really good scare, and the plotline is cohesive. But anyways, let me know if you've seen Pet Semetary Bloodlines, and I'll see you guys in my next video.